Hello Nigerians, my name is Toye Akingbola. I'm here this time to share my thoughts on our epileptic power supply, its implications, and how I intend to solve the power problem if I become the president of Nigeria. One big thing is common to countries that are said to be developed, and that common factor is uninterrupted power supply. Once a nation can boast of uninterrupted power supply, that nation is condemned to success. A developed nation is a nation which its economy is effectively powered. Without power, you cannot get the best out of industrialization, out of transportation, education, research, entrepreneurship, economy, quality of life. Simply put, nothing works without power. Poor power supply means poor life. Poor life means poor people. Poor people means poor country. In short, power failure is simply national failure. Even God at creation had to first solve power problem. Remember, he said, "Let there be light," and it's on that power that the entire ecosystem rests. Do you know that South Africa, of 57 million population, has over 51,000 megawatt plant capacity and generates about 49,000 megawatts of power for both local and industrial consumptions? Here in Kenya, their energy demand is just 1,800 megawatts, but they have almost double that size in generating capacity. If you go to Ethiopia, of 105 million population, they generate almost the same megawatt with our Nigeria of 200 million population. This Ethiopia increased its power generation by over 1,100% from 380 megawatts to about 4,300 megawatts in the space of 25 years. Today, they export electricity to Sudan and Djibouti. Presently, they are even constructing about 7,000 megawatts dam in anticipation of increase in power demand. Now, back to this our Nigeria. We have a generating capacity of 12,500 megawatts, but we barely generate 5,000 megawatts because of the claim of not enough gas, which constitutes about 85% of our generating source anyway. Do you know that Nigeria is sitting on approximately 190 trillion standard cubic feet of gas resources as the 7th largest in the world and the 1st in Africa? Despite that, we queue behind Egypt and Algeria in tapping into this resource. So at the end, our per capita consumption of power is about 150 kilowatt hour compared to South Africa's 4,400 kilowatt hour, not because Nigerians can't consume more than what South Africa is consuming. The power is not just available. This implies that for an average 24 hours that a South African gets, a Nigerian gets less than 1 hour. Now, you know why they bring lights, as it were, when you have gone to office in the morning. They switch it off in the evening when you are back, and at night when you need it most, only to restore it in the middle of the night when you are fast asleep. So you never get to use it. Today, at the two extremes, industries have shut down, factories have become moribund, cost of production is not economical, some SMEs are even running at a loss. You see hairdressers are selling tomatoes and barbers riding Okadas, all due to power problems. Fix Nigeria's power problem today, then our nation will be industrialized. Unemployment will reduce significantly, the cost of production will go down, and the purchasing power of the citizen will rise. From my survey, Nigerians are willing to buy power at double the current price only if it will be available. Recently, there was a serious face-off between Disco and the Minister of Power, and Disco was threatening to quit just station if the federal government can pay back $72 million they invested, out of their investment of $82 million some 5 years ago. Now, how do I intend to solve this power problem if I'm the president? Number one, the first thing I will do is to quickly address the blackout and domestic power needs. A task force on zero tolerance for darkness will be set up to operate at offices and household levels. This operation will be driven by citizen-oriented, investor-friendly policies and environment, of course. Their responsibility will be to install solar inverter system for interested households under some terms and conditions, with payment plan spread over a period of 15 years. These terms and conditions will protect the consumers, the service providers, and the government interest. because the government will not spend a dime on that project, but will only serve as guarantor for citizens. This task force, which will be comprised of all stakeholders of the power industry and all green entrepreneurs like STV, Blue Camel, Society, Energy, Relay, all of them will bring them together and they will be responsible to the presidency. Then number two, we will generate power to up to 25,000 megawatts from the present 5,000 megawatts over a period of 8 years. And then we'll build a 40,000 megawatt capacity plant in anticipation for increasing power demand. This, of course, will be achieved by scaling up Nigeria's energy mix to include thermal, coal, solar, geothermal, aside the regular gas and hydro-driven plants that we have all over the nation. Of course, we will woo investors into the system. So investors will generate and government will only buy to sell to citizens. Number three, we will refurbish and expand the present capacity of transmission lines and distribution systems to accommodate the value of power generated per day. Number four, state government will be empowered not only to generate power for state use only, but will be able to distribute to citizens, which in turn will reduce transmission costs and power losses. Federal government will only take care of the deficit the state cannot reach. Number five, gas exploration will be massively and aggressively driven under the public-private partnership for export and produce more than enough to ensure that our present plant generates to its maximum capacity of 12,500 megawatts and even beyond. And lastly, citizens will be encouraged to generate excess power than they need, and that excess, with the help of smart meters like it's been done in South Africa, will be invested back to the state or national grid, and such person will be paid for it. In addition, Nigeria can also make money from carbon market, which is now 17 euro per ton. Hope you know that for every CO2 you take out of the environment, you get paid for it. So at the end, Nigeria will have options of off-grid, that is renewable sources like solar, or on-grid from either federal or state government. In fact, citizens can even have all the sources combined in their houses and offices. This will drive competitiveness and boost our economy by making power available 24 hours, create millions of jobs and industrialize our nation. Please believe me when I say something is about to happen. Thank you very much.